the statistics about where people go to, for those who reach Europe and by default the UK, it's actually very small numbers. I mean, it's a lot when we look at, the population of the UK, but it's not in terms of how many people actually attempt to come here. We've got a PR, I think, issue here, which is that people in the UK think that we have massive numbers of migrants and asylum seekers trying to get here, but actually it's not true when you look at countries like Germany or France, for example. But in terms of the fact that we've cut our aid budget, a large amount of our aid budget would have gone to tackling things like the East Africa famine crisis. Now, when that's not tackled and you don't have that international development aid money, and you don't use your international development aid money to tackle things like global poverty, the outcome of that is that people migrate and they go to countries where they feel like they're probably going to have a better life. And I don't agree with the idea that we should segment out, people who are fleeing death from people who are fleeing absolute poverty, because I work in international development, and let me tell you, absolute poverty is probably the same risks of death, because you're not going to have proper healthcare, you're not going to be able to bring your children up properly, and you're not going to have any kind of money to be able to have a decent quality of life. So it's likely that you'll try and move somewhere to have a better case of life. So this is what we always miss out when we talk about migration, which is that Britain, we have this global Britain thing that David Cameron pioneered, which was about our role on the global stage and using international development money to help other countries develop so we don't have issues like a lot of migration. Rishi Sunak and Boris Johnson cut that international development aid money, and it's a response that people are then fleeing the conflicts that we're now saying we don't want to help support to make better.